let's launch on the McKinsey 7S model. You'll understand why it's called 7S. McKinsey 7S model has 7 elements starting with the letter S. They're organizational components, such as structure. An organization has a certain structure, as defined by its hierarchies, as defined by its lines of defense. It has certain systems, as defined, for instance, in its policies and procedures. But more than those kind of hard elements, it will likely have some softer elements, which is style. Have you ever heard of the expression style of leadership? Well, style of leadership is, how a leader in an organization works in the organization. So, for instance, if there's a problem, is the immediate reaction to kind of, seek responsibility and fire the person? Or is it to work with the person to find solutions to the problem? Staff, this is a component. And of course, staff is somewhat dissimilar from senior management, but basically includes people working in the organization who don't necessarily have an influence on the structure, systems, style, and get to the next one, skills. This is seen both at an organizational level, such as we at Daimler-Benz have the skills to build a car, as well as personal skills in the organization. But indeed, skills is often seen as your capacities by your organization to do certain things, such as we can build electric cars. And finally, your strategy. Now, I want you to look at these elements and understand how they're all tied together. We have one of these right in the middle, which is called shared values. What is shared values? Shared values is basically what ties the entire organization together. It's a more cultural aspect. It is the risk culture, it's our risk behavior, our risk attitude, at a very aggregate level, and it's the way that we would act as an organization. So of course all of these start with S, structure, system, style, staff, skills, strategy, and shared values. I recommend that you memorize these particular words and that you try to group them. How can we group them? Well, McKinsey sees some of these elements as hard elements. They provide the framework of how an organization operates. Importantly, senior management has an influence on these, a very strong influence. They can more easily change the strategy, the structure, they can change the reporting lines, they can change the system, they can change the policies. They can more easily change these, especially in a short term, rather than the so-called soft elements that rely on attitude and behavior. I want you, for the exam, to be able to know about these seven different elements, and also to be able to understand whether they are hard elements and soft elements. I want you, in your free time, to try to think about a particular example and where you would classify it in this framework.